Hello, everybody, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will. I'm a D&D sex icon and the world's greatest role player. I'm here today on hour 24 to 27, day 2 of EncounterCon, and we're here to play some Warhammer. We're not beneath any dark bowels tonight. We're just in the mud, blood, and shit of the Warhammer universe. So let's get to it, my friends. Let's figure out who we are and who we're playing.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, you don't need to. I was just doing my bullshit introduction. But we're here with the full cast. Let's go around and figure out who we are and who we're playing. We have Sid with us tonight. Sid, how's it going?
It's going good. I've never played this before. I don't know anything about it, but I'm here and I'm ready to figure it out, and I'm excited.
Absolutely wonderful. Yes, we're playing the 4th edition, so this is new for a lot of us, including myself. When I thought about it, I really should have just ran 2nd edition because I'm way more comfortable with it. But I was like, oh, we'll play 4th edition. Forgot to think about it. And then 24 hours passed, and here we are. So, we'll figure it out along the way. We, of course, have Charlie with us today. Charlie, how's it going?
This is going good. Sorry, I couldn't click my mute button. I was very stressed. Yeah, I'm super excited to jump into some Warhammer action. The last 2 weeks, every Wednesday, I've been like, is it Warhammer time yet? But here we are. It's Saturday. Is it? No, it's Sunday.
I couldn't tell you.
And I'm going to be playing an artist, which is definitely a good standard class. If anyone's looking to play Warhammer, go with artist. Definitely good survivability here. And yeah, I'm ready for the mud, blood, and shit, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. If in doubt, play an artist. We, of course, have ex-Liberus with us tonight, a Warhammer veteran. How's it going, my friend?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, 4th edition, first time playing. It's going to be fun. It's been out for 2 weeks. We'll figure it out. I'm playing Oswald Grimm, Flagellant, religious zealot. He's ready to suffer for his god and maybe make some other people suffer.
Awesome, awesome. And we have Stu with us tonight. Stu, how's it going, my friend?
Yeah, not too bad. First time on, so a little tense, but you know, that's all right. But I'm going to be playing.
Not to hurt you too much.
Too much. I mean, I expect a decent amount of it in Warhammer, but I'm playing Gundren Rockcarver. I'm a slayer, a dwarven slayer of Karak Kudrin, and he basically wants to die really gloriously, covered in the blood of some horrible enemy or a bar fight. That. Both are good for slayers, really.
This is true. This is true. I like this. We have the Gotrek and we have the Felix kind of dealio going on with Johanna and Gundrak, so that'll work out pretty well. Yeah, so we're playing. Yeah, certainly the Warhammer 4th edition, the first time on the channel. So expect us to fuck it up along the way. We'll get into it in just a few minutes here. This is hour 24 of EncounterCon, so things are getting a little sleepy, but we're waking up and there's some great games on schedule today. If you didn't know, doing some more giveaways in about 3 hours' time. And of course, in this game, you can interact with the show as per usual. If you haven't retweeted this tweet, go ahead and do so. 20 retweets. You guys get to decide something which happens next in our game. And we just hit another sub goal, so that's another viewer decision. You can subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and you can check it out, my friends. Oh, and of course, you can donate to affect the game as well by giving players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges, and words. I've already been donated 2 nat 20s by the Chaos Chorus of chat to assist in the timely demise of our characters today. So, good luck, you guys. You're probably gonna need it. Let's dive into things. Let's first of all learn a little bit about your characters, and actually, before we do that, let me give you guys in chat as well the setting of what we're doing here today. So we're going to be in the border provinces, working with one border prince named Alexander Vosser. He is traveling back home to his sort of principalities after a crusade into the lands of one Baron Richthofen, who was an undead knight who ruled over a kind of army of the undead in the region that he was in. Alexander Vosser and his troop traveled to those lands and defeated the Baron. This is actually in Bretonia, so he's been a long way, and he's now returning home to his province. Now, his army is much defeated, so he is traveling back home with the dregs, really. Those two have survived. Most of the people that he's with, maybe 5 or 6 soldiers are actually left traveling with. He didn't really come with much of a band in the first place, but they've met with great resistance and are now traveling back home to kind of lick their wounds. So Vossa has actually hired the team that we have here today to accompany him back to his homeland, his hometown of Vossa, which is the land named after him and his family. The border princes, at best, are a scattered group of individuals who sort of lie just outside of the empire. So we're living in sort of unknown territories and traveling back in a way for several years. So he doesn't actually know what home really looks like anymore. But he's assuming that he's going to need a little bit of extra help on the way back just in case, because the border provinces are a dangerous place to be. For those of you new to the Warhammer world, or those in chat, essentially what we're looking at is a hodgepodge mix of like grim, dark, medieval Europe, where we're going to be today in the border provinces. It's a pretty broken and scattered land, and the countryside that we're looking at is bleak at best. And while Warhammer is based on a lot of medieval Europe stuff, there's a lot of fantasy involved as well. So you've got your orcs, your goblins, your undead, your vampires, that kind of thing. So that's a good reference, I guess, for some Warhammer. So you're traveling with these 5 or 6 soldiers who are invariably missing eyes, limbs, and have wounds all over their bodies because, well, it's Warhammer, and they just got back home from a war. Thank you guys for all the crits going in here. I will use them wisely. And Alexander Vossa himself, 40 or so year old, pretty grizzled veteran of war. He has quite fine plate armor, rides upon and has been kind to you for the most part, in agreeing to pay you some amount of coin to join on, and pay the rest when you get there. While he certainly hasn't needed to take you into his service, he has needs fed you, and the rest of the soldiers have been pretty amenable along the way as well. He's accompanied by his general, General Becken, who is a similarly grizzled warrior, and he's been fairly dour and less than friendly towards a group of you, as you're not really his soldiers. But I want to learn what you guys have been doing. You've been traveling with this band for maybe about a week through some pretty rough and rugged terrain. You haven't seen anyone else, and you're not really expecting to see too much out here in a pretty desolate area of the old world. So tell us what you guys look like, and what you guys may have been up to over the past week or so in this journey. Let's start with our artist, Johanna.
So Johanna has dark braided hair, and she has a really good posture, someone who has been raised to sit properly, and over some nice courtly garb and in a nice shade of green, she has a leather tabard, kind of a leather protection of some description, and across it in a really fine cursive it just says artist. And she is traveling with this group to get some good references for some large murals that need painting back in the home of the gentleman that employs her, and to help out, because it is actually known that she's fairly skilled with weapons. This isn't, this is like most creative people, they need day jobs. They need to actually have other skills along with being an artist. So this is what she does. This is her service industry of choice, and she's ready to go on this investigation.
Yeah, it's as far as you're aware, a pretty simple mission. Alexander Voss himself is a fan of art. He's a big fan of art from Altdorf and considers himself something of a connoisseur, despite being a soldier and a general. Living in the border provinces, they don't see much of anything. This is like the backwater of the backwater, and so the chance to bring an artist back to his town is probably something that Alexander's expressed a deep interest in, to bring some culture to his people now that he's returning. So he's probably ensured that there will be some service for you and some work for you when you return back home as well.
As we've gotten further into the provinces and things have gotten a little rougher looking, she has actually sharpened the end of her paintbrush into a makeshift shank so that she can kind of dual wield it with her actual dagger should she need to.
Nice. Very cool. Okay, what about Oswald then?
Oswald grew up in a backwater town in Talabakland. He was a bastard. He never knew his father. His mother claimed that he was some sort of priest or witch hunter high in the order, but he's not sure if that's true. When he was about 14 years old, his mother caught a disease and died, and he was left alone. And he had nothing else but to pray. And he prayed for a whole week, 7 days, 7 nights. And he saw a vision in the sky, a twin-tailed comet passing down to the southeast. And he picked up what belongings he had and left in that direction. Over the years, he's wandered back and forth, and he has become a religious zealot, in so fact that he routinely cuts himself, beats himself. He has determined that he is a sinner. He is put on this planet to suffer for his God, and pain is the only penitence he has, and any chance he has at righteousness. He wears tattered rags. He has chains going from across his chest, around his waist, different makes, different metals. They're all spiky and uncomfortable. He has different signs hanging off him that say, like, repent and sinner. He's barefooted. He walks everywhere barefooted as part of his penitence. And he has a big metal collar going around his neck with huge iron bars that go up over his face. And it has a top over his head, which he sometimes put charcoal briquettes on to light a fire, so he can feel the heat and pain as he whips himself into a frenzy, determined to suffer for his god and make the enemies of his god suffer for Sigmar.
Awesome. It's the most Warhammer thing, like a literal furnace on your head. I love it. Also, Purified Aegis had given a wild magic surge to Sid. I went ahead and rolled that for you, Sid, for ease. It doesn't actually affect your character, but it is great. 9911, the most powerful wizard within 10 miles, is actually a demon. Well, that's good.
Oh, what a great start to this game. Oh, God.
Oh, the Chaos Chorus.
For that.
How good it feels to be on the other side of this tale. All right. I feel like Jim Davis. My little chuckle as I write down one more demon. Excellent
one more
stuff.
Demon. Oh no.
It's okay. Hush now. It'll all be fine. It'll all be over soon. Talk to us about Gundrak then, Stu.
Gundren is a dwarven slayer originally from Karak Kradrin, the dwarven home of slayers. He was actually not part of a slayer family originally. However, he decided that the family had one too many grudges it needed settled, and that the family had not done a very good job of settling those grudges and felt that they no longer had honor. So, shedding his belongings, took his axes, donned the ginger mohawk, and has set out to earn a glorious death while taking as many marks off the Domaz Kron for his plan as possible. And he's, of course, like many slayers, a dwarf. Well, every slayer is a dwarf, but he's covered in the runic blue tattoos of slayers. He has the tall ginger mohawk, as I said before, and a long, sort of very long braided beard. He's not wearing much in the way of clothing. He's got some roughshod boots on and just some cheap, like sewn together hide trousers, and that's about it. And he's probably spent this last week just sitting on either a cart or walking alongside a cart, looking very, very angry at the fact that there's nothing here to hit. Also, he wants to die.
Right.
Yeah.
That has probably been... It may even have been that Gundren had learned or heard of the legend of this great warrior, Alexander Vossa, he and his band traveled from the border provinces deep into, deepest, darkest Bretonia to defeat an undead knight and claimed victory over the army and have now returned. So surely this man must be a great leader, and surely if anyone's going to find a worthy death, it's going to be this guy.
Takes a hell of an idiot to live on the edge of the wastelands. Takes an even bigger idiot to try and fight a vampire. Sounds like a perfect person to follow.
Exactly. Like this guy went out of his way to find death and hasn't returned. So clearly he's someone who's tied up in something which is going to get him killed sooner rather than later. That makes a lot of sense. Very cool. And we're going to have our first viewer decision here. I want you guys to name the demon underneath this line in chat. Name the demon for me. Awesome. Okay, last but not least, Jade. Talk to us about Jade.
All right. So what we came up with, collectively, we're all responsible, is Jade is someone who is like a roguey little thief who has somehow finessed her way into this squad. Like, someone who believed that there would be some sort of big reward at the end, or this would be some way to benefit her in the future. So she has pretty much completely lied about a lot of her knowledge of navigation and ability to protect. This is not something she's good at. She's pretty much all for one type of person. It's all everything she does is totally self-motivated, and that's it. So I think it's gonna be interesting to see how this goes. I haven't really put that much thought into her outfit. I guess what do people wear in Warhammer? She wears that. I don't know.
I mean, drab peasant garb is probably something that we could expect to see, Jade in.
Peasant-y, but think gilded peasant. You know what I mean?
Gilded peasant.
Gilded peasant. Super poor, doesn't actually have anything good, but wants you to think that she does. So she'll spice it up a little bit, you know?
I gotcha.
And she's probably stolen some fancy things here.
Okay. Awesome. Right, let me get rid of that. Perfect. So Jade is been traveling here with the team for about a week. Has she been up to anything in particular on the the week or so of essentially downtime?
Definitely looting any place that they stop if she can, and I don't know, maybe that involves accidentally stealing some of great importance that you did not realize that will later get everybody into trouble.
Yeah, the only problem that you've had, really, I guess, as far as looting has gone, is that there are no real stops in the border provinces that you've been to. You may have found a turnover wagon here or there for some long dead peasant who was trying to make their way up here. But the sort of caravan that you're traveling with have been the only easily lootable places since you've entered the border provinces. Before then, though, pickings are a little bit more, ripe for Jade, who sounds a bit like a camp follower who sort of tags on to, an army or a group of people and sort of takes the opportunities as they come.
Yeah, this is kind of her whole shtick, is that she regularly hops from group to group, sort of filling whatever role that she assesses that they're missing, and making up stories and using charisma in order to secure that position for the time being until she gets whatever she wants and then leaves and does it again.
Right. Okay, so the team of you then, we're on the road it's a bleak midday in the border provinces with Alexander Voss's band. He's up front on his black charger, and in his quite ornate plate armor. He's not wearing a helm at the moment. He's taken it off to breathe and be more at ease. And he's you can see his face, which is sort of pockmarked and scarred. He has some hair, but most of it has retreated back up to his scalp. And you can see the many wounds, both natural and unnatural, from his fight with Baron Richtoff. And if the stories are to be believed, the undead knight used some foul magic against him, which has since sort of burnt away a lot of his neck. So he is quite a grisly spectacle at best. But he'll ride back towards the group of you as the rest of the caravan continues. There's basically one large carriage which carries all of the supplies of his band. The 5 or 6 soldiers led by General Becken continue onwards. You guys towards the back of the pack. He turns around and says, "Good morning, friends. How are we all finding ourselves today?"
So Johanna looks up from a little watercolor book that she's been working in, and she gives a nod of good morning and kind of glances up at the flagellant, who is actually the person she's been studying like as discreetly as possible, and is always curious to hear what beautiful dedication to Sigmar will be coming out of their face when they talk.
You would know that Alexander Voss himself is a fairly devout Sigmarite. I say fairly. He carries the sign of the hammer and sickle, but you haven't seen him in a daily prayer or anything like that. But he will often mention a Sigmar, that kind of thing.
Oswald will raise his hands to the sky, close his eyes for a second. As the great Sigmar once wielded Galmoraz to dispense justice throughout the world, his Holy Spirit resides through us, and we are the same. We are his hammer, we are his faith, we are his righteousness. Oswald pulls out a dagger and makes a little cut into his chest. And through pain, we will reach the path of righteousness.
He watches this kind of pretty grim display of self-inflicted harm. But he will nod grimly. Great Sigmar, and what of you, Slayer? Sorry that we have not found your worthy death yet.
A worthy death will come. It comes for us all, if we seek it. But today, I feel today may be the day. And Gunjan's probably said that every day since they've travelled.
Right, yeah. He nods with a thin smile, hoping that you get what you want, but also hoping that you don't. He looks to Jade and says, "How is the road treating you? You like these lands? They're getting close to my own."
Oh yes, of course, I know. I've traveled this road far and wide. I'm very familiar with the path of Ron.
Really, it is not many of traveled as far as Vossa.
Well, I am not many.
He gives you a sort of slightly long look. He's not sure if he quite believes you. He hasn't been home in many years. This is his first time back. Only since maybe a little tinge of jealousy that if you have been back here, because he clearly loves his land, and this is like a cathartic experience for him coming home, But he'll nod and say, "We are just 2 days away from Vossa. We should be returning to my lands in the borders by nightfall. After that, we'll see what home looks like."
Joanna, sneakily leans across in the carriage to catch some of Oswald's blood in her palate. She's running low on red, and it's really authentic. But she'll try and do it when he's busy having another prayer moment.
Yeah, his eyes are closed, and he's just kind of like, just shaking and reveling in the Holy Spirit.
Vossa watches this for a moment before turning his attention back to the rest of his soldiers. He calls Beckon, and General Beckon, this much more kind of stout-looking older gent wearing chain, comes over. He's got like the full-on beard and mustache of like an Empire general, but doesn't wear any of the colors. And you get a sense this guy may have actually, been from the Altdorf or environs, from somewhere in the Empire at least, but certainly no longer. He says, "Yes, what is it, Alexander?" And Alexander says, "I want you to take these four here and scout ahead, if you don't mind. Make sure that everything's fine for our arrival back home." Beckon does not look happy about this at all, and glares at the group of you and says, Fine. Come on then, you." And he's off up the trail already. Vossa kind of gives you a thin little smile and says, "He's just highly strung about returning home after so long away."
Oswald picks up his flail, puts it over his shoulder, and just wordlessly starts at his own pace walking towards the guy he's supposed to follow.
You get the thick dwarven just grunt and just follow.
Yeah. Vossa says, "Time to earn your pay, friends. Beckon will look after you. He's a good man. A little touchy, but a good man." As you head up the trail with Beckon, it's maybe a 10-minute walk ahead of the caravan before he kind of rounds on the group of you and says, "Listen, I don't know why Vossa's brought you on, but I can tell you one thing. I don't like you. We don't have to like each other to work together, but it helps. Listen, as soon as we get back home, I'm going to help you all out with something, okay? I'm going to give you a few pieces of coin, and you're all going to head back along the trail, back to the Empire, and leave us in peace. Understood?"
I have no intention of taking your coin, man-thing, or listening to exactly what you want. I will leave of my own accord.
I could take his share.
Aye.
You're not going to find what you're looking for in Vossa, dwarf. It's a quiet little home. We keep ourselves to ourselves. We're not looking for trouble.
Seldom.
In fact, what I would suggest you do is head back down along that trail. If the reports to be believed, there are bands of orcs roaming around in the mountains. Perhaps you'll find your fair game there.
What is it you want now?
Listen, like I said, I don't like any of you, and I don't think there's any need for you to be here with us. We're perfectly competent soldiers. We've seen many battles. We don't need 4 camp followers with us, an artist, whatever she is, points towards Jade, with us. Understood? He glares at both Johanna and Jade quite pointedly. So why don't you just be on your way now?
I'm sure if it's a quiet little place, our purpose of part won't be getting in your way. You'll be more than busy retiring and relaxing and stretching, and she flicks through her little watercolor book and finds a particularly unflattering sketch she did of him, which shows like a slightly rotund stomach, where he's obviously just like stretched in a really not anatomically pretty way, just to kind of sass him a little bit.
Looks towards Jade, and you're not going to leave either then? Is that it?
Only because I worry about you.
He sees that he's not going to get anywhere with the four of you. Fine. Then you know what? Why don't you handle this? You all scout ahead, seeing as you're such experts in this area. I'll leave you to it. And he trudges back down the trail to the caravan.
Fuck.
Just turn around and say, I have no need for a general of a broken army. Come. We find our glorious death.
I will illustrate your glorious death.
That would be
And
good.
I will collect all of the rewards.
We all must suffer for our sins. Praise Sigmar.
Praise Sigmar.
Aye.
The dwarven discomfort at the manlings. Oh god.
It's like, God's only a god because he's got our hammer.
Exactly. Yeah, you're pretty sure he's only a god because the manlings are super weak, and he was like just kind of a buff human thing.
Right, you know, if you give a manling a dwarven weapon, of course he's going to be better than the
He's
other
gonna do
manlings.
better, yeah.
Yeah.
The dwarves tell it differently, where, you know, Sigma is actually just two dwarves stacked on top of each other.
Big coat.
Yeah.
Yeah, big coat. So you guys are left in this sort of bleak, you know, wilderness. About, you know, a couple of minutes behind you is the caravan. Alexander Voss has asked you to scout the area. He reckoned that by nightfall you'd be back in the lands of his people, but the trail up until that is a pretty barren looking one. You've kind of flanked by mountains on either side. You're in a sort of big valley essentially, and you're heading uphill into higher grounds along this pretty rocky trail. You haven't seen anyone for about a week, and you haven't seen any wildlife aside from, you know, the occasional piece of game, you know, rabbit, that kind of thing that might live up here, some kind of mountain fox, that kind of thing, but it's pretty dead. What do you guys want to do?
Is so that there's no like any form of like even like ruined buildings, or is it just like scrubland?
So far not. Yeah, you're seeing sort of you're kind of in like the foothills right now, I guess would be the best way to describe it. You're pretty sure that by nightfall you would start to see some buildings, and you might even have seen like the odd sort of like old you know, farm sheds, that kind of thing so far. They've all been deserted, but you know,
like old Scottish croft style, you know, like
that kind of thing, right?
Yeah. All right. Okay. And like, how big does it like? Is it from like mountain to mountain? Is it like fairly close on this valley, or is it like?
Yeah, the valley itself is pretty huge. So while you're flanked either side of the mountains, you've got a lot of space in between, several miles of sort of open ground. You don't feel like you're walking into some kind of trap in this valley. It feels pretty open. And most likely this place was built because it is ridged by mountains, which is sort of like a natural protection, aside from the orcs and the goblins that probably live in those mountains. Travel for like another half a day will probably yield you some kind of buildings and civilization.
Alright, so I guess we'll just start walking down the road?
Joyce, is anyone in particular leading the way?
Probably
I feel
either
like
me.
I can lead the way. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like the artist normally lets Gundrak and Oswald walk ahead. And she has like her little sketchbook out and is doing like little on the goes. There's a little holder attached to it that has like a tiny amount of water in, so she can get the right colours going.
Jay just like walks like ever so slightly behind, but confidently, as if she has the air of leading the way.
Right, you've
But she's
Or
not.
rear guard.
you've told other people to lead the way. Yeah.
Yeah, the people that are like too far back to know the difference. Yeah, I'm leading the way. Sure, whatever.
I mean, yeah. To be fair, you haven't seen anything so far that would make you too nervous. You know, you've heard that there are orcs and there are goblins roaming the wilds, but you know, you haven't seen anything so far. And it has been a whole week without seeing anything which is trying to eat you. So, you know, you've seen Gundrak and Oswald's probably in a scrap or two before, and they can handle themselves. Dave's also given all the players another nat 1, except for Oswald, because he gets a nat 20 for Sigma. That's the spirit, friends. Or Sigma. So you continue along up the road, and you guys can roll me whatever the equivalent skill is now of a perception check. Let me go look at the character sheets. It's like a spot.
Perception.
It's just perception now?
Perception.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, how do I do this?
Okay, so the basic premise of Warhammer is that you roll a D100 and you're trying to roll low underneath your ability score, or underneath the skill that you're trying to roll.
So that's a fail for me.
Find it.
So do I add anything?
Nope, just roll the D100 currently.
So perception an initiative test.
Yeah.
I on your sheet, Sydney. For your character, you are rolling against a 31.
Right. So a 93 is. Yeah. Okay. Looks like it. Yeah. Well, on a first level Woofro, everyone fails all the time. Especially on like skill checks. But hey, there you go. The three of them are sort of looking out, but Johanna in particular is a little bit more eagle-eyed than the rest of the party in this case.
Got
Up ahead, Johanna.
For interesting things to doodle.
Well, I'm sure I can't see over the hills.
All right, that's a 2, so we're going to give one a Sid to as Charlie. So Charlie gets, what do you want, Jim Song? Like a magic item? Let me know in the chat. But for you, Johanna, as you're scouting out, you see up ahead in the distance, and this is maybe half a mile away or so, a collection of 4 or 5 cottages that look to be some kind of village. It's a very small sort of village community. You can't see at this distance if there's any like smoke rising out of the building, so it doesn't look like there are any fires going. But it's a pretty bleak, slightly rainy day here in the border provinces. So it looks like there's some kind of village up ahead.
Village ahead, she says and points.
Yeah, Jay turns around. She's like, obviously, as if I totally saw it.
There appear to be no fires, so who knows if it's abandoned like the farmhouses we passed.
Hey,
Is it silent?
perhaps it just means. Hey, perhaps it just means it's not on fire.
From this distance, you don't see or hear a fight occurring or any kind of commotion. It's pretty quiet in the foothills at this point as well. Really, it's the occasional squawk of some distant bird, but that's about it. Are you guys approaching?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Is out.
that is a magic item for Johanna. Okay, so you guys head into the village. You guys can roll me another perception. I keep wanting to call it spot hidden.
Spot hidden.
The D100 is making me think of Call of Duty. Oh, nice.
Ooh,
Fail for me.
that's a success for me. Oh, my first success of Warhammer 4th edition.
So, yeah, that's pretty good, Gundren. You step into the village, and this collection of 5 or 6 little cottages arranged around. However, as you enter in, you don't hear anyone speaking. It looks to be fairly abandoned. You step into essentially the center of this little village and start poking around, maybe even calling out to see if anyone is home. However, as you enter this pretty silent village, Gundren, you hear something moving in what looks to be a large stable barn. It's large enough to have been some kind of stable or coach house at one point. And something just moved inside there, or someone.
It's like the doors to the stable doors open, or is it
currently closed, and you can't see anyone inside. You have to like creak it open a little bit to see.
Right. I want to give it the dwarven lockpick, which is my boot. Just boot the door open. Just go up to it and slam the door, slam it open. No sense of tact.
Right, you guys, for the rest of the party, not having heard this, it's probably something of a surprise to watch Gundren just run over and slam open a stable door. Inside, you are greeted with a fairly unfriendly face, Gundren, which maybe isn't a bad thing for you. There is a creature, maybe about 10 feet away from you as you throw open this door. Singular creature on its own, which is humanoid, certainly looks to be a human, or at least once was a human. However, its rotting flesh hangs off from its face. Its jaw is agape in an unnatural manner, having been displaced at some point and sort of just lolling down its rest of its throat. It doesn't wield any kind of visible weapon. However, its claws look to be fetid and most likely disease-ridden at best. It looks at you with this hideous grimace on its face. And as you throw open these doors, roll some initiative.
I hate you.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
I don't know what that is. You don't roll for initiative.
You're right. Yeah,
you can if you take your initiative bonus plus a D10. That's optional.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not worry about rolling that. That's okay. So, what kind of initiatives are we looking at here? I'll put them together.
I will just type my initiative into chat, so you can.
Cool.
Sid, yours is 31.
Is your agility right, or is it your?
No, you have an initiative characteristic. Yep.
Thank you.
And 3.
And highest goes first. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tie between Gundren. I mean, Gundren, it would make sense as you bust open his door for you to act first.
That's fair. Yeah.
We go Hannah there on 33. And Oswald on the 29. Cool. Alright, this creature is going to act last. Actually, kind of slow in comparison to you guys. So, Gundren, you throw open this door and this creature kind of at you. What are you doing?
Alright. I just lurch back, axes out to the sides, and just yell, "Death approaches!" and just swing in. That was sorry. And just swing in towards this creature as, despite Stuart's better judgment, I want to swing in to hit this creature and charge it. Actually, I want to charge it.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hit it.
And I need to roll an opposed one.
You do.
That's the thing nowadays.
Yeah. And because I charged,
Alrighty.
I get +1 advantage, which gives me a +10 to my stat.
He rolled 75, which is pretty bad. Which is... Do I need to count the amount of degrees of failure?
It's still considered success level. It's just a -1.
Negative,
Right.
yeah.
So he gets 4 degrees of failure on a 75.
Right, so that's 6 degrees of success on my attack, if I remember right. So
Right.
because I add your 4 to mine. So
Right.
Yep.
that is
Quick mass.
Quick mass, yeah.
Right.
That is 6 plus 8. So that's 14 wounds. I deal.
Damn. All right, let me go find stats because. Okay.
And where does 52 hit?
52 is body.
Yeah, body. Body.
All right. Straight in the body.
Straight
and
in
I
the
still
body.
reduce. Because this is the first time I'm playing with him, so
Yeah,
sorry for me being
still-
slow. Still reduced by
still-
toughness and armor, right?
And armor, yeah, still reduced.
Yep. Okay, so maths app. There we go. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Oh man, I flicked to exactly the right page. So creature actually doesn't have any, which is lucky for you. And critical hits is still the same, right? You still roll a d100 for a crit table.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yep.
the way that you get...
Yeah, when you get
wait,
negative wounds, basically.
When you get negative wounds, or if you roll a double. If you roll
Cool.
like 8, if you roll like 22, you get a crit as well.
Yeah, you get to roll on the table,
Right,
and
right.
each wound on that table, or each effect, gives you extra wounds, basically.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
I think. I read
It's all good.
through the rule book like 2 hours ago.
yeah, it's all good. Okay, that is good. Describe to me a punishing, but not yet critical wound upon this creature.
All right. I just want to bring the axe in as hard as I can into the belly of this creature. It's not enough to like break straight into organs, but probably doubling it over as just slam the axe in.
Nice, nice.
And I can do another one because I'm a dual wielder.
Yes.
So all that it does is takes my first attack and flips it. So it's a 25 to hit. So, but you still make another.
Nice.
You make another.
Yeah, I still make
contested.
another
Yeah,
contest. Yeah. Which is a 22, which is no degrees of success or failure, just sort of dead on.
Okay. And mine is 5 degrees of success.
Woo.
So I'm going to call Slayer on this as well, which means
Nice.
I add your toughness bonus to wounds instead of my strength bonus.
Toughness bonus to this creature is 3.
So I add 7 plus 5 is 12. I can count. No, 12 wounds.
So 12 all in all. Okay, so I reduce that by that, and that goes to that number. So roll me a critical hit.
Ooh.
Nice.
Again, apologies. I'm going to bring up a second PDF to find a critical hit table.
Yeah. Critical hit.
All right, so 43. Do we still reverse that, or is that just straight up?
Just straight up.
no.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Cool.
but
That makes me a lot simpler.
Should be page like 174, I think, starting on that.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm headed to. All right. Wait. Yes, there we go. And that was to the 22, right? That was.
no,
what did you roll?
that was 25, but then obviously switch it to 52 for the
So
it's
body.
Yeah. Oh, that
Cool.
should have meant the first one hit somewhere else. Oh well.
It's all good. Okay, so and you rolled a 43 on the crit table. Randomly, I'm going to select one arm. All right, I will. Left is 1, right is 2. Okay, so right arm. The creature has a wrenched collarbone. As it drops whatever is held in its hand, and its arm is useless for 1d10 rounds. So essentially, Gundrake brings down the weapon into this creature's collarbone, which like sickeningly displaces it out of use, and it hangs limply and dead by its side. It doesn't react in the usual way that people receive pain. If anything, the creature almost looks like it enjoys the pain. as you slice into it. Johanna, what up?
I am going to move against the wall next to the doorway, and I'm gonna. Question next, Libris. Can I use my dagger as a throwing weapon?
Yeah, you can. I believe it's ballistic at -10. I could be mistaken.
Something like that.
That sounds good to me. Alright, I'm gonna throw my dagger because I don't want to get close to this thing. It doesn't look good, and it looks like Gun's doing a pretty good job.
Right.
So, I throw my dagger. 14 against, that's 2 levels of success for Johanna so far.
Cool. Do I roll opposed like agility for him to dodge?
You don't, no.
No, for ranged combat, I think you just
straight up.
if you hit, you hit.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
But
That's a hit. Then.
And so it's 2 degrees of success plus my strength bonus 3. That's 5 plus 1 is 6 damage to location 41, which is the right arm. So probably, I think that's the one you just injured, right? That's no good anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. You rolled a critical hit on it.
Nice. Slash die 1d100. So that's a 26, please.
All right, and arm wounds. Okay. So it looks like where previously the lower you roll on a crit table, the worse. It seems like the higher you roll on these crit tables, the worse.
A roll of 100 instant death.
Is instant, yeah. Brutal dismemberment is that one. Okay, so a 26 on this crit table. You badly jar this creature's arm. It again drops whatever it had in its hand, which is nothing. Yeah. For the next like rounds.
Are there any more?
It's like beating up this guy's arm real. Okie dokie.
Is blood an interesting color? Just curious.
Yes, it kind of leaches out this sort of thick black blood, which is not really human, you would say. This creature is clearly fairly close to death. Jade, what would you like to do?
Okay. I don't know what I have.
You should at least have a dagger. Everybody should at least have a dagger.
I have a dagger, I see. So I will stab it with that. So is it the same thing? The same
yes,
roll?
you roll your weapon skill, so you roll a D100, and you try to roll under your weapon skill.
Which is 32 to Jade.
32.
Yeah. It's a WS.
Oh.
Okay, but that's okay, because I can test, and if it fails a lot, it'll be good. So he gets 1 degree of failure. I think you have 1 degree of failure as well?
Yeah.
As long as it's a full 10, otherwise it's just 0.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, he didn't even get a degree of failure. So he gets 1 degree of failure.
Which would bring her up to 1 degree of success.
Right.
Correct? Which means she hits.
Which means you hit. Yep.
Yay!
So that is 5 points of damage.
Yeah.
That's it.
That makes it a whole lot easier to hit things, actually. Like,
yep, you both can fail and still cause damage in Warhammer 4th.
Right, that's really cool.
Okay.
I like that a lot.
And the way you get advantage as well if you hit things. So now Jade has advantage. So now everything she does is now at 10 plus 10.
Plus 10%, yeah.
It stacks infinitely. So right now I'm at plus 30 to all of my attacks in terms of like my numbers. So it keeps going up. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. But the second you fail, you lose all.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
44.
44.
Which is the right arm. We're just going to keep battering this right arm.
His poor arm.
Oh no, sorry, location 83. I was reading the wrong number.
83 is left leg.
Is left leg, yeah.
All right, roll me a D100, Sid.
Okay.
So
A 7.
So it looks like the creature has to take an unconscious condition, and then if he takes any wounds, you compare the amount of wounds to the toughness bonus, and then it dies. Or you can use mook rolls as well, which I'll probably end up doing, but I want to...
Yeah. Once you have the number of critical hit equals your toughness bonus, you're dead.
Okay, so if you take... Ah, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, so
Yeah,
this
so
creature should already be dead, but it will die now.
It's cool.
It's cool. First time, you know?
Yeah, it's all good.
Sorry, what was that? What
Jay,
was that?
if you take the amount of critical wounds equal to your toughness bonus, you're dead.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So, yeah, this is actually... Yeah, last one would have killed him. But it's all good. Jade, how do you kill this creature?
Oh, sweet. Okay. So, like, she will, like, strategically wait until what she thinks is, like, the last leg of this creature, as everybody else has, like, done all the legwork, and then, like, at the end, finally spring into action and just, like, slice off some sort of, like, integral limb or vein or something, and but do it in such a dramatic fashion that it looks like she caused a lot more than she did. A lot more than just 5. And just, like, with a dramatic flare and a dramatic slash to, like, you know, step away from it and, like, try and catch your breath and act as if it was a lot harder than it was.
Nice. All right. The creature kind of and finally falls dead back from its own life onto the ground. As it turns to Oswald's turn, you hear this similar sort of hissing sound from behind you, as having entered into the sort of coach house. Entering in from behind you guys, there are 4 more of these shambling creatures. While they clearly possess little intelligence, they move fairly swiftly with sallow, filthy skin and sharp yellow teeth, which look capable of tearing flesh from their victims. While this one didn't get a chance to act, the rest of these 4 coming in are clearly about to. Oswald, you turn to face this oncoming tide. What would you like to do?
Oswald screams, "Behind us!" and charges the nearest one. And he is going to swing. Let me get his character sheet real quick, because he gets bonuses to charge it, because he's got Berserk Charge as a feat.
Nice.
So that should be...
I'll roll this creature's opposed for you.
Should be 61 I'm looking for.
61.
Ugh, not quite. So negative 2, and the flail has a property which gives my opponent a -1 on their success level. So
okay, the creature rolled 0 success and failures, so you're just at -1 overall, I think.
okay, so
I think that's just a miss.
that's a miss.
Yeah.
Damn.
That creature now has advantage.
It gets +10.
+10 on you. Good to know. Okay. That does make it a little easier to hit things all the time. But then there's actually quite a lot of tracking that goes on for advantage. Gonna think of a token-based system to.
It recommends using like coins or beads and that.
Yeah, I could see that being actually super helpful.
I imagine they're in Fantasy Grounds. There's probably going to be like a +- macro that you can just easily click or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the creature which you just attacked is going to try and attack you back. He has a +10% with the 1 advantage. Going to run out with the claws against Oswald. Yeah, I rolled that wrong.
I have 1 success level.
Gonna roll like this. The creature rolled a 36, which is no, not 1 degree of success. Unfortunately, he would need to have done a little bit better. He has traits bite +5. Okay, what does that mean? I haven't looked at
that means damage. Whenever he hits with his attack, that's what you add in terms of that's his weapon damage.
Oh, and the weapon +6?
If they have a weapon, then that's the damage you use when you roll with the weapon.
Cool. Sweet. Okay, good to know these things. So, unfortunately, with your success, he misses the swipe in and just kind of claws at you. You manage to deflect away the yellow, filthy claws from your skin. Gundren, one of these creatures is gonna charge in on you.
Okay.
And is gonna try and attack you.
So that is 4 degrees of success.
Damn. Charging gives you 1 extra advantage, right? Or does that just give you a bonus?
Charging gives you an advantage.
Yeah, 1 advantage. So with that roll, he charges in at you, and Gundren, you manage to like throw up the axe and block this pretty pitiful creature's attack. However, Johanna, you got 1 on you as well. And it's going to charge in on you with a 33. And you made that opposed roll, Johanna.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to hit my mute button.
So good.
That's a 27, which is 1 whole degree of success for me.
So if the so he got 1 degree of success as well, so it's just 0. Is that still a hit or is that a miss?
If it's tied, I believe nothing happens.
Cool. Okay.
You just
Last but not least, then Jade.
I'm blocking him with a paintbrush for anyone keeping track.
Jade, unless you roll really badly, this thing's probably going to miss you here. But roll me a D100.
Oh god, don't see when you say that, it's gonna jinx it and
Oh, no, you did it wrong. Yeah, this creature comes in and sort of totally missteps at a last moment, swipes the claws just past your face, and you can see where that would have just torn open a red gaping hole into your face if that had hit. Luckily for you guys, it is now top of the turn order and Gundren's turn.
By the way,
All
Will,
right.
we have a viewer decision when you're ready.
I'll think of that.
And everyone currently is on at least 1 critical success and at least 1 failure for the party, and you have 6 critical successes each.
Yeah, I think I'm going to save those for a little bit.
Just so
That may use
everyone
it.
knows where we're at.
Alright.
Good to know. Okay. Gundren, it is your turn, my friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna swing at this one that charged at me, just yelling in Kazalik the entire time. So that is 2 degrees of success for me.
Very nice. Let's see what this rando can roll. Oh, that's so many degrees of failure on a 98. Let's do the math. These things are pretty bad at flying. 6 degrees of failure.
Oh, okay, so that's 8 plus 8. Yeah, so that's 16 wounds.
Holy shit. Okay, minus the toughness. It is still into critical hit territory, so roll me the crit.
All right. That 57 on 58, which is the body.
The bod. Straight onto this guy's bod. Which, let's see, 57 takes an additional 3 wounds. This is making a lot more sense now. So he dies as you open a gaping wound in its stomach. And essentially you tear out the creature's stomach from the inside. The axe goes in and then pulls its way out, and the creature's innards splatter all over you, and it dies on the ground.
Yeah. Am I close enough to...
Absolutely, you are. Yeah, these creatures are some of the most, some of the weaker creatures that Gundren's probably ever fought. At least in his mind, this is like, oh man, where's the dangerous stuff at, right? Like,
I'm not gonna die here. Yeah.
Right.
So
Okay.
the second hit will be a 58, which now is 6 degrees of success.
Awesome. Let me roll for you guys. Yeah. Which is 4 degrees of failure.
So that's
So 10.
11. That's 19 wounds.
Another crit hit.
Okay. That's 33 to 85, which is the left leg.
Nice. The left leg with 33 is not quite enough to kill it. It's almost dead.
No.
The painful blow slams into its upper thigh. It gains the bleeding condition and has to take a endurance test or stumble, gaining the prone condition. Okay.
Bleeding is you lose 1 round per turn, and if
Cool.
you're unconscious while bleeding, every bleeding condition is a 10% chance of death.
Nice. The creature fails its endurance test and is knocked back onto the ground by Gundren's second attack here. So
Alright.
that one is now prone and in critical hit territory. He's looking real bad.
I just yell out, "Give me a real challenge!"
Johanna.
Seeing as Gundrak is really doing his thing, Johanna's going to move in and collect her dagger from the dead one and just scrape off the blood that's on it into her little pallet and close that up and get ready for it.
Alrighty.
That is it for me.
Okay. Jade.
There we go.
Yeah,
Okay, I
fine,
couldn't
that'd
find my mouse to unmute it. Hello. Okay, so I think we'll go with the dagger again,
Okay.
and we'll just see. So do I add 10 to it with a success thing?
So basically, your skill is now plus 10. So your weapon
Right.
skill plus 10 is your goal now.
Yeah, so it was 32 before, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
now 42.
So it's now
Yep.
42.
So that's what you
and
got to get.
that's- Okay.
So you're
Right.
trying to roll
That makes
under
it easier
42.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
27.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, just like that. That's what you want to do. This creature failed
Oh,
by 5 degrees of success, and you succeeded by 1 degree of success. So you add those two together and you get 6.
6 plus 4,
Okay.
so for
Your strength bonus?
10.
10.
10, yeah.
So 10 is what you do overall. I then
Yeah.
reduce that by its toughness, which is 3. So you left
Yep.
with 7. And then the armor doesn't have any armor, so 7. And so he takes that amount of wounds. And was this on the prone creature, or was this on one of the ones that was still standing? There are 2 others that are still fighting.
My voice is going. The prone one.
Okay, how do you want to kill this one? Because he was so far in the crit hit
A
territory.
a similar plan of attack is like waiting till the last minute to step in,
Right,
and
right.
then have like the final blow, to keep up with the facade that she's doing so much more than she actually is. So, like in the most dramatic fashion possible, with like whatever way of slicing that's going to produce the most guts and blood and innards exposed.
I like
You
it. I certainly
like-
do.
I feel like Gimli still counts as mine.
Right. You'll steal as a Jason. Oswald, there are 2 of them left fighting you. You sense something of a pitiful cowardice in them as they watch their 2 companions fall dead on the ground.
Well, I will assist them with their suffering then, as I swing at the closest one.
Excellent.
That is 1 degree of failure for me.
He got 2 degrees of failure.
All right, so I win.
Haha.
So that is going to be. Get my sheet up here. So 1 plus my strength bonus of 4 plus 5 for the flail is 10 points of damage.
Very nice. That is not enough to put into crit hit territory, but it is a solid blow as the flail beats its way into its body, and it hisses out in agony. You got anything else, Oswald?
No, that's it for me.
Beautiful. That takes us to the bad guy's turn. This one's going to reach out to hit Oswald, and I can use my nat 20 here. One of them, at least. Got to get through him, right? To guarantee a success. Oh man, now we've got to think about how we do crits with this.
I would assume it just make it a 001.
Right. Right.
And failures would be a 100.
That makes right sense. So it gets 3 degrees of success. Plus its weapon, which is a 6. I'm
gonna attempt to dodge.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my dodge is 40. So let's do it.
Let's give that a shot. Ooh, nice.
Take that. Whoosh.
Yeah, it kind of like swipes at you with this makeshift sort of cleaver. You dodge backwards, Matrix style, surviving the attack. So
move like one of them.
You're right. The other one is going to step in towards Jade, who's looking like this avatar of death, murdering all of its friends. Roll me that D100, Sid.
79.
So your weapon skill is a 32?
Yeah, so that's the base 50. Of it. Do I add anything else?
You added an additional 20 because you've got 2 advantage right now.
Yeah.
So every time you hit, you gain.
Right. So it's 52 now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, so you got 2 degrees of failure. This creature, luckily for you, also got 2 degrees of failure. So it comes down to 0. You clash blades together, and the wounding blow that would have landed in towards your body is deflected away. Gundren.
Alright, so I'm gonna swing in at the one that's harrying Jade right now. Because she keeps stealing my kills. That is a 30, which is 9 degrees of success. 9?
Holy moly, yeah. Let's see how many he gets. He succeeds by 1.
By 1, so that's 8. So 8 plus 8 is 16 minus toughness. That's 13 wounds.
Woo! That is the one on Jade, almost in the crit hit territory, but not quite. You open up this kind of rending attack, and you have a second one, right?
Yeah, and that one's a 3 to hit. So
nice.
That is. So that's I have a 60 base plus 7 advantage, which means I am at 130 on my melee hits right now. So that's
probably gonna hit.
Is it, or does it not go past 100? I think it does go past 100.
I don't think it goes past 100, and I need to look up if you're changing opponents, if you still maintain your advantage.
No, advantage stays because the example they use is a bandit leader with plus 10 advantage running roughshod over the party until one of them gets a lucky dodge. And then the
okay, so it's per encounter.
It's per,
not
yeah,
opponent.
It goes away at the end of encounter. Yeah.
Okay.
So it doesn't go over. If it doesn't go over 100, if it doesn't go over 100,
Does
that's just 9.
Decline if you miss.
If you miss, it wipes out.
Yes.
Yeah, it wipes it out. It resets.
Yeah. So that's just 9 degrees of success then.
Cool.
So, but it got. Did it get? You say it got 1. So that's actually.
You got 1 degree, yeah.
So that's another. So that's another 16 minus 3 wounds.
Roll that crit hit.
it's like the Tasmanian devil, just with the axes hanging out of it.
So that is 63 to the right arm.
63 to the right arm is gonna get him, I think. Critical wounds, yes, 3 is enough to kill it. With a deep cut to the arm as it is mangled, you rip off the arm, and the creature falls lifeless dead to the floor as the axe then cuts its way through the arm deep into its body, tearing apart the ligaments. There is one of them left standing. It's looking wounded and is fighting Oswald. That is Johanna's turn.
Johanna comes screaming out of the stable in a charge of artistic fury to try and stab the one that's still standing. So, see how she does. Not good.
Oof.
That's 6 degrees.
She changes her mind halfway through.
Yeah, she starts running out and she's like, I have regrets.
Yeah, so you got I don't know, however many degrees of failure, you got 1 degree of success, so yeah. It gets, so you lose your advantage and it gets an advantage?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. This is making a lot more sense.
It's going to be really great in a week where Jim comes on for your first session. It's like, no, you've been doing it all wrong.
Do you know what?
Yeah,
It's run out thinking it's the dagger leading the way, and it's actually the paintbrush, and I've got it the wrong way round, and halfway through I'm trying to change it to at least be the sharp end.
Great stuff.
Some platinum white on there.
We're gonna bang the heck out of it.
Jade, it's your turn.
Okay. Can I use my nat 20 now to?
Sure.
I just want to stab it, but really good, you know?
So that counts as a 001. So
You could roll to find out location if you want.
Yeah, there's 5 degrees of success or something like that for you.
Depends on what her advantage.
Yeah,
5
yeah. I'm pretty sure it's 5 because you're on 52 for your weapon skill.
Uh-huh.
Plus your weapon, which is 4, right? So 9?
Yeah.
So let's confirm.
I have no idea.
On the second page of the character sheet, it should say
it's 4.
Yeah, it's your strength bonus, which is the first number of your strength score.
2.
Plus 2.
Yep. 4.
Yeah, plus 2. So.
Okay.
And then whatever your success level.
So 5 plus 6, so 11.
11
Cool.
rules.
Roll me a D100.
Alright. But that makes sense to me. 35.
35, and we'll say that we'll turn it into a 53, so it's body. It is a rattling blow, not quite enough to kill it, but blood floods the vision of this creature with spots and flashing lights. It gains 1 stunned condition. And all that does. But it's looking
I think it loses its next turn, I believe.
Yeah, that's probably... That would make sense. It's gonna die here. Oswald, what you got?
Gonna hit it.
Good idea.
And with my current advantage, I believe that is 0. Success level of 0.
Alrighty, and this creature, fortunately for you, failed by 6? Yeah.
Alright, so...
Wait, no, 4.
4. Okay,
Half
so 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 5 is 13.
Alright, describe how you kill it, because any critical wound here is going to murder it.
Alright, so Oswald just runs up to the creature, raises his flail, and just whomp! Just crushes it like a tin can to a pile of viscera on the ground.
Nice. It dies in a squelching pile of flesh, and you feel peace around you once again as the 5 creatures lay dead at your feet. Fairly pitiable, fighting creatures, but nonetheless fairly horrific in their own nature. that was we did that all right for a combat. There was like a shit that I did wrong, and looking back on it, these creatures work actually way better when I put their initiative score incorrectly, but it's all good. But yeah, you guys find yourself with these creatures dead at your feet. Certainly something you were not expecting to find here, so close to Vossa. What are you guys doing at this point as you discard?
I'm going to examine the creature.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was it? What is it? Is it human? Did it used to be human?
Right. It certainly used to be. Is it like a knowledge roll of like?
Yeah, there could be. And lore. I have lore Sigmar. Maybe if I had lore monsters or lore undead or whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely undead. That much you can tell just by looking at it. This thing is clearly undead. It's smaller than your average human, kind of like crouched over. It's certainly not a skeleton, so you know there's like flesh hanging off it. It was zombie-like, but you think a little bit faster, than you'd suspect from what you'd heard of stories of these creatures. Yeah, that's what you have. They certainly had the ability to wield weapons, so they weren't just clubbing you with their undead fists.
The dead have risen. This is the end times.
I think hearing those words, I'm gonna go into the barn and light up a match or something along those lines that we would probably have from our camping, to get a glimpse of what's in this place, because it seems like the creatures were coming here and there was one already in here, so there's got to be something interesting about this barn.
Yeah. You take a quick scan of the barn as you kick over the corpses as Oswald takes a look at them. Inside and at the back, you can see what looks to be a hole in the ground, which is maybe about 3 foot wide, and is clearly burrows deep down into the earth. These creatures have a lot of sort of like dirt underneath their yellow fingernails, where it looks like they may have, jumped out from this hole at some point, possibly even dug it with their bare hands.
How far down did you say the hole went? Sorry.
Into darkness.
Just into darkness. Woohoo. I go and get someone who is going to be into darkness, i.e. Gundrak, and I drag him over to look at the hole. He's also a dwarf, so, field of expertise.
You can probably see in there, too.
I mean, alright, fair. I'm like, hey, what do you want?
The creatures, they've been digging a hole, and I can't see the bottom of it, and I'll just drop the match down.
The match goes down some way. You watch it for a little bit, and then it disappears further into the darkness beyond what your eyes can see. You don't think it's directly down. It looks like there are probably some like turns in this, more like a warren, really, than like a direct hole downwards. This reminds you of like a rabbit hole.
So, we're going down there.
I don't think that's the necessary step that we need to take it. Next.
Hey, you owe me 2 kills.
I have to say, Jade, your prowess
I saved you.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Sit. Yes, lass, you know what you're talking about. You're not saving me. I want to die.
You want to die by the hands of those? She's like cleaning blood off of her dagger.
Aye, fair enough. Alright. Okay. Yeah, you win that one. Still, I think we should go down here.
Not all of us really want to die.
Well, then you go last.
Oh. Okay. I won't argue with that. If you would like to jump down, no one's going to stop you.
Well, I'm not going on my own.
I'll follow you, Slayer.
See, the one with a makeshift barbecue knows what he's talking about.
Speaking of which, she starts putting some briquettes in the top.
Yes, obviously this is a good plan that the two people who want to die and suffer are making. I'm sure that this has everyone's best interest in mind. Thank you. Thank you for this.
Yeah, what say you, Painter?
I will certainly follow all the better references for the great battle mural I need to construct. Also, the homestead.
See? There we go.
Besides,
let's go die.
A very interesting colour, and she is smearing a bit of the blood across her hand that was still on the dagger. It looks black, but there's definitely some forest green in it.
You have to do that every time someone gets an open wound.
Do you know how expensive paint is?
There are two people who literally want to die, and somehow the artist is more grim than them both.
Oswald strikes the briquettes on his cage hat and says, "We all suffer for the sins of our ancestors. There's no escape. Praise Sigmar."
Hey, he talks like a dwarf. Jump down the hole.
Praise Sigma!
As you go down the hole.
Make the sign of the hammer.
It's like slip and slide.
Yeah, as you fall down, Jade is like, is it, what's it like?
Wet and wild.
So, Gundren, you probably land 15 feet down or so, crunching down into the muddy earth of this cave, this tunnel. This is probably somewhere Gundren feels kind of at home because it's underground. This sort of makeshift warren that looks like it's been dug out with the bare hands of these ghoulish creatures is fairly easy to traverse for someone of your height. The humans in your party will need to either severely duck if they're short or crawl on hands and knees to follow you through here. But for Gundren, it's safe enough as he leads the way through these caves. There's a fair amount of jumping around off these sort of branching tunnels and exploring, using your innate dwarven sense of direction to follow these tunnels until you reach maybe the oldest ones. You can tell how long they've been made, that kind of thing, and follow what seems to be some kind of natural progression into deeper tunnels. As you are pretty gone down here for maybe an hour or so, you can suspect at this point that the band of Alexander Vosser and his companion General Becken may well have found the coach elves at this point. Maybe they're even coming down, but you've lost them in the darkness. After about an hour or so...
Did anyone follow me?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, I think the party are with you.
Oh, right, okay, good.
Gundren's just leading. As you go down here for maybe about an hour of crawling around in the darkness, you see a light up ahead. For the rest of you guys who are just following on your hands and knees, an incredibly claustrophobic environment, it's been a very uncomfortable hour or so, especially probably with the cage hat of flame which Oswald is bringing, which while it brings some illumination, makes things really hot in tunnels and pretty sweaty.
Awesome. He loves it.
Yeah, absolutely. You see a light up ahead. It is, however, Gundren, not a light from a normal flame or candle like the one which Oswald wears on his head. It's a pallid green sort of light, somewhat unnatural looking in nature. It's a sconce, and it looks like the tunnel is coming out into a stone floor and a stone corridor, at the end of which there appears to be a torch and a set of doors as well. As you guys kind of make your way out of the tunnel, finally you can stand up again. and see this old architecture around you. Clearly, whatever this corridor has been built a very long time ago indeed.
Is it like it's a corridor, not like an open room then? So
it's a corridor, so it carries on and stops at the end of the doorway, yeah.
Right, I'm gonna keep going forward.
Is this like dwarven architecture, elven architecture? Can we tell?
You would, yeah. This doesn't feel like dwarven architecture, and doesn't have the fanciness of elven architecture. You'd think it's human built, but exactly what era is tough to say. Very old, though. Very, very old.
Right.
I've got like one hand on Oswald as I'm using his head to light my way down here in the dark while I'm kind of crawling.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna keep going then. Just saunter. I'm not smart enough to think there might be traps.
Alright. Oswald will just say out loud, what is this place?
It
Smells like
strange.
heresy.
Yeah, it's not a
That's
city.
what that smell is.
It's a tomb.
Yeah, so amongst the smells of old dirt, there's definitely that telltale hint of heresy in the air that Oswald has a keen sense for. It's probably familiar and somewhat comforting. But yes, Gudrun, you follow the door. You follow the corridor up to the doorway. It looks to be locked. Probably from the other side. And it's a stone door.
Oh, it's a stone door.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, any of you know how to pick a lock?
Do I?
I just shrugged.
They might have a go at it.
I could try.
Yeah. What's the skill for that?
I don't know.
It'd probably be an
Dexterity-based?
advanced skill, but it's certainly dexterity based, yeah.
Yeah, it's just roll like a dexterity. It's just one of your like.
Out of my pack, my little ear pick that is like part of this little hygiene kit I have, and I'll pass that to Jade to use.
Yes, of course. Like at the thought of that, Jade is like, I have a great experience with this. I'll give it a try. 67.
Yeah, it's probably not going to do it.
Yeah, it's just like this lock is it's a different type of model. It seems like it had been rusted shut. It's like, of course, the picking technique is correct, but there's no way I could get past the rust of it. There's no one could do that.
Also, I'd like you guys in chat for review a decision. What treasure did they find? That's a nice
Ryan Hawks!
Is it the gift of escaping with our lives?
Grimnir's axe.
It may be the gift of death.
Grimnir's axe.
The sweet release of Sigmar's embrace. The door is clearly locked. It's clearly old, rusty sort of lock on this old stone door. Gundren, it's old enough where you think you could probably slam this thing open, if you applied enough strength or pressure to it, because the finesse approach isn't looking like it's going to work.
I'm going to use the dwarven lockpick then and just try and break it open. So is that just
strength? Yeah,
just straight up strength. All right, I can do that. That is just a fail with no degrees of success.
Yes.
No, wait, that's wrong. Actually, that is a success with no degrees of success. I can't read.
Huzzah! Huzzah for not reading. You kind of like shoulder check it and then prise open the doors apart, and you are let into this vaulted sort of chamber. Inside, you can see that there is someone in what appears to be some kind of prayer at an altar. This figure who's facing you, but with eyes shut and hands on this sort of altar, what looks to be, now that you look at it, actually some kind of sarcophagus. The human standing here has pale, pallid white skin and hands sort of caress the sarcophagus in an almost loving and caring way. They have a large, bushy beard, and something just reminds you of Jim Davis about this person. As there's a comforting, warm feel, and yet the inevitable knowledge that you're going to die. And that he's going to kill your dog.
All of your dogs.
All of your dogs.
Did
like
you
5 rounds
kill
ago.
a dog?
He killed a dog
two.
and didn't even give a shit.
Twice. He killed Panda's dog twice.
That is
Yeah,
Technically,
2 dogs.
technically Chad killed the first dog with the Wild Magic Surge. If we're doing the accounting right. But
that is the worst thing
I mean, Jim didn't stop it.
could ever do. That's like
Yep.
hard limit. Hard limit.
it was Jim's people. Oh yeah, Hope's dead.
Just
Oh, she
Yeah,
died
it's like,
5
oh.
rounds ago.
Shit, she died like 5 rounds ago.
Like 5 rounds
I
ago.
can't believe
This is the
Okay,
monster,
so
Sid. This is the monster.
I
Yeah,
cannot
his-
believe
his hand
y'all.
sort of
If Will
caressed
ever
the
kills a dog
sarcophagus.
in any game, y'all need to tell me, because that is not
I
gonna
killed a
fly.
monkey.
Not in this house.
I could have
About to
monkey. I
give
don't think I've
Jim a piece of your mind on Twitter.
I'm gonna have to talk to him in the Jim Davis fans Discord section.
You killed that monkey more than once, Will. Be honest.
I killed a monkey twice, but you know,
God damn the monkey.
it's not a dog.
Right. Are we gonna
You
kill
get like
Alter
10
Dude?
10 monkeys equal like 1 dog. So, yeah, Alter Bro, he looks up, and as he opens his eyes, you can see that they are sort of pallid, low green, and says, "What are you all doing here? I was in prayer. I was not expecting visitors to this sanctified ground."
Who do you
Oh.
pray to?
It's one of your lot, Oswald.
He looks at you and the clear signs of Sigma, as you are basically a walking altar of Sigma. He says, "Older gods than yours. It is a surprise. General Beckon said that you would have been dealt with by now, but I see that you are the ones that he traveled with. A shame that he has failed me."
So we have been betrayed. Bonds of mortal man are so weak.
"I do not believe the general sent you down here. It looks as though you came here on your own accord. You have only yourselves to blame for your oncoming fates."
Hey, I welcome it gladly.
Perhaps some of you, but for those of you less apt for death, does not treat all of us the same. I give you the chance to step back now. He looks over towards Jade and Johanna, who are clearly not slayers or crazed zealots of Sigma, just like the 2 normal people here. Perhaps now would be a good time for you to step back before I kill any of your dogs.
Jim, what's happening?
He holds up a puppy.
No! Oh my god!
Oswald and Gundrak are not dogs. They are my friends and noble
The puppy
warriors.
goes.
Oh my god! I can see him being like, "I'm Jim Davis."
Fucking Davis, huh? He holds like a tender hand up to the neck of the creature and like produces a dagger.
God, I will leave this call right now.
I'm not afraid to do it. Just
Jade.
I give you the chance
aware.
now to
And I
leave
will
before you see anything.
I will take you up on that chance. Obviously, we're not here to die. We have much more to do, and we have rewards to collect. So I will leave you to it. Can you point me to the way out? Because I don't think we can get back up.
Of course. That door over there will take you out of here.
Hey, lad, what's your name?
I'm Jim fucking Davis, son.
Hey, what's the pup? What's the wee pup called?
In case it was me. Oh, this one here. I don't name the dogs anymore.
Hey, you know, do you mind if I
stop naming them?
If I name it?
By
It
all
looks like
means.
it looks like a Pruitt to me.
He does, doesn't he?
Hey.
Looks like he'll die like a Pruitt's too.
My Will's hand is what he means.
I just find any way to kill Pruitt in
In any game, any opportunity.
Hey, in Kazalit, Pruitt means fate is to die.
Does it now?
Hey,
Jay,
just
do
like you.
Do you take the door out of here? Are you like shuffling over that way?
Yeah, I'm just like, pardon me, I don't want to interrupt you.
I would like to
Yes,
grab
circle.
Jade and prevent Jade from making this hasty retreat.
Why?
We came together. And
I understand
you are
that you're all
mighty.
dedicated to each other and that they're dedicated to death, but I'm just here for the payout. And I know that if I die, I'm not going to get it. And so then all of this will be kind of pointless for me. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just going to continue.
Well,
That would be
Rogue,
right.
what do you
That's
think's
best.
in the coffin? I imagine there's a nice crown or tiara or bracelet or whatever piece of wealth you desire.
And my
Oh,
mother
you're a
is a very
stoic.
wealthy woman. She would certainly appreciate having her daughter return with good tales.
It doesn't seem like we're going to return, though. I think you guys are giving the situation a lot of false hope.
That's right. There is no hope. Turn back now before the end.
Exactly.
You're a very smart girl. Now, get out of here before the rest of your friends die.
I can like sense it. I'm gonna open this door and like get eaten by some like giant like worm mouth thing. I just feel it, but yeah, sure.
Move without rhythm.
You open the door and there's a set of stairs leading upwards.
I want to like put my toe just on the first one, just a little tap, just see what happens. Just a little love tap.
No, nothing happens.
Feeling okay?
Feeling good.
Feeling good? Feeling solid?
Yeah.
Okay. I will do that with all of them on the way up.
Sure thing. You watch Jade
She's
leave.
fallen
Very
to the temptation of money. The forces of chaos are strong.
well.
Okay, bye!
I think she's the smart one.
We all receive our punishment in time.
Yes. Some sooner than others. Now, shall we?
All right.
I take my dagger
ready
out
my
and my
flail.
paintbrush and do a little throw and catch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a most menacing artist.
As Jim fucking Davis' son steps towards you, puppy in hand, dagger to puppy's throat. Let's check our initiatives. Gonna expect I have all the initiatives as well. Jim Davis goes on a 30, so just before Oswald. So
In before Dave comes running back to kill still.
right, yeah.
As the door opens, a dagger comes through, it closes.
I went to the final blow. I've been like waiting, like in the middle of the stairs, like.
Gundren, it is your turn, my friend.
All right. Well, I am gonna charge Jim. I'm gonna charge Jim Davis. There we go.
Hey, fucking Davis, son.
Gonna beat the shit out of Jim Davis.
Ooh,
Take
what
this
is-
out of context. Like clip this. Just out of context.
That is
Oh,
one
Jim
degree
Davis.
of failure.
Okay, Jim fucking Davis, son. Let's see what his weapon skill is. He gets 3 degrees of success.
All right. So that's a no.
So he has advantage 1.
Yeah. But I strike again.
Okay.
Because of my dual wielder, and it's still an 88, so that's still 1 degree of failure. Oh, sorry, it's 2 degrees of failure now because I don't have advantage anymore.
Right. Jim rolls. Oh my god. 4 degrees of success.
Yeah, never mind.
So he gets a second advantage. Cool. Okay, so you kind of swing in twice, and he just sort of like throws the dagger across twice, a sort of sacrificial, curved-looking puppy-killing dagger, as he just turns away the blows with an unnatural amount of strength behind it. Johanna.
I'm gonna steel myself looking at the inspirational fire burning over Oswald's head, and I'm gonna charge in with my 2 pointy implements, and I'm gonna attempt to stab this guy. And I'd like to use one of my nat 20s, please.
Go
I say one
ahead.
of mine. I think I only have one.
I think you have the one, yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be to location 65.
65.
Is his body.
His booty.
His
Oh yeah,
body.
you rolled a nat 20, so you need to roll it. Yep. Okay. Straight to the body. Straight to the body.
With a nat 20 equaling a 1, and that gives me 3 degrees of success.
Yes.
Stabbaroo. Which is 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 stabby
Alrighty.
points to his body.
7 stabberoos. And let's do math. Cool. It looks like it hurts him a little bit.
In 4E, do we get advantage for, or a degree of success for sharing the same target? Same way melee improved the more we were on the same person in 2E? Or just
There is-
increases with its success?
There is
I
a
think it
thing
may be
for
1
that.
point of advantage. Yeah.
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 That would make sense.
Bear with me.
Alright.
We can look that up in a second. Jade is currently chilling, running back along the steps.
Oh wait, I
Um,
charged, so that's an extra degree of success.
Yep.
Okay.
So that would be an extra point of damage.
Cool.
Sorry.
All right. Sweet.
Your system?
Oh yeah, it's plus 20 if you outnumber 2 to 1,
Awesome. That's good to know.
Nice.
and plus 40 if you're
Alright.
3 to 1.
Nice. Well, that may be about to change here in a second. As thanks to Super What's King's donation, there is an undead dog to attack the party. Guess how Jim Davis gets undead dogs? That's right.
Homemade.
And he then sends his necromantic energies into the dead, dying puppy, which then grows out, its limbs extending, and a horrific jaw filled with razor-sharp teeth unleash themselves upon you guys as undead Pruitt's dog is gets to go on Jim's turn as well. He's also going to attack, because that's just kind of the person that Jim fucking Davison is. He's going to use 2 of his nat 20s on both these attacks against Gundrak. So 001 is 5 degrees of success on that, plus his weapon, which is 9, which is 14. Plus his 2 advantages, so 16.
He lost those, thankfully, he lost those when he got hit by Johanna.
Oh, you're totally right, yep.
So
when you
I
get,
only
yeah,
take
yeah,
14.
sense.
So I only take
14,
14 wounds. That's okay. That's just...
You take 14 twice.
Oh, I'm unconscious.
Oh, how you got negative wounds?
So I have 16 wounds and a toughness bonus of 4, so that is... What? Did you say 16 wounds? Twice, or 14 wounds twice?
Yeah, 14
So
twice.
I take 10 twice, so I have 4 negative wounds. I take negative wounds on the second hit.
Second hit, so you roll a crit hit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I roll D100, which is a 15, super low, and we'll say that was 51 on the body, so 15 on the bod wounds is scroll. A gut blow. You gain the stunned condition, and you need to pass an easy plus 40 endurance test or vomit, gaining prone condition.
Okay. Was that... What did you say? Plus what, sorry?
Plus 40.
Plus 40, so you should be passing on that.
Yeah, that's 100... sorry, an 80, so yeah, that's a pass. Yeah.
Nice. Charlie, I think I have 3 nat 20s left at the moment, just so you know. With Jim fucking Davis. Pruitt... Undead Hound Pruitt... I guess he's a direwolf stats for Pruitt, that makes sense. Is going to bite in, not on Gundrak, but instead now the Sigmarite Oswald, and this is another nat 20 on that. For 3 plus 6, 9.
I would like to try to dodge.
Give it a go.
You have nat 20s too.
That's fair. I'm saving them.
Okay. Advantage 2 for Jim, advantage 1 for Pruitt, and 9 is the amount of wounds that Pruitt is doing to you.
Okay. So I take that many. Alright, thank you.
Alrighty. That takes it to Oswald's turn.
Alright, I'm going to turn around on this undead dog, and I'm going to hit it.
Do it.
I'm going to roll. That's a 0 success level.
A 41 for Pruitt is 1 degree of failure.
Alright, so I win by 1. So that is 10 damage.
Alrighty, 10 minus, I think it's 4 with the armor, yep. So 6, alright. As you slam down the flail on the dire wolf, you kind of not being crippled by it, but clearly shattering bone and flesh, what's left of this creature. Oswald, you got anything else?
No, that's it for me.
Gundran, it is round 2, my friend.
Am I not unconscious?
You certainly are.
Yeah.
You're unconscious, and you need some help. So you watch as your Slayer friend, perhaps finally meeting his worthy death, falls to the hands of Jim fucking Davis, son. Johanna.
Respecting my Slayer friend's beliefs, I step onto his body for a better purchase, and I stab at the fiend for me.
Nice. You're at a 2-on-1 scenario, right, with Oswald now?
Right, so that's 20 from that, and I have 10 from hitting previously. So, 60... So I'm up to a 68, which is just a flat success. Oh no.
No. Jim got 4 degrees of success.
Great. So that means I fail and he succeeds, which wipes out my advantage.
He is Jim fucking Davison after all. As
a wily man.
You step up onto Gundren's body. You kind of slice down at him, but Jim was expecting it as he turns away the blade and chuckles. I told you. Should
for a point of order, could I use a fortune point to try and re-roll it, or is it rolled before the opposing?
I'd let you do it.
Okay, I would like to use a fortune point and re-roll just to see if that's going to help me. No.
Oh no! I wanted to say, oh Yidris, but
Flail fail time.
Okay. That's Johanna. Jade, you step out into the fresh countryside, and you're at the village, and you see Alexander Voss's band along with General Becken there as well. Vosser actually sees you coming out of this sort of little hut, and you appear out of a tunnel. And he looks over and says, Jade, where are your companions? What's happened? We found the corpses of some ghouls and feared for your lives.
Well, that was, we had an altercation, and, unfortunately, I delivered as many killing blows as I could, but the others succumbed. I was the only one to make it out, so they asked me if I would accept their reward on their behalf, their dying wish.
Roll me a deception here. You know what? Take the nat 1 that you have there on your your screen. He already was a little bit clued into the idea that you may have lied to him before about being to this like super specific area of the border provinces before. And you've now just come out of a tomb alone, and you're like the least fighty type. He narrows his eyes towards you and says, "Do not lie to me. Do they still live? Did you leave them in there to die?"
Well, keep in mind that there was a slayer who thought that this would be his, and was very excited to come across it. And the same thing with the prayer one. They were very excited to be down there, and I didn't want to deny them their happiness, the end to their journey that they've been searching for so long. Who has the right to do that? Not I.
In these lands, I am the ruler. Arrest her. And Becken and the soldiers look pretty happy at this ruling, and they kind of clap you in irons as they approach. They get information on where to go, and they start heading down the tunnel, leaving a couple of soldiers to watch you. But you're alive, so there's that.
I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah. Jim Davis, it is his turn. He is going to use his next 2 nat 20s, my last 2 nat 20s, on Oswald for, I think that's 14 twice, as this puppy killer extraordinaire, Jim Davis, slices twice at you with an unnatural strength and power.
I would like to use one of my nat 20s to dodge.
I will allow that.
All right. And then
so
I'm going to roll.
Just take the one.
I will roll opposed to the other one.
Ooh.
And that is 3 degrees of failure.
Okay, so he had 5 plus 9 plus that. I think it's 17.
17
on the second one, but you avoid the first.
All right, I am at 0 exactly.
Ooh, all right.
You are joining me in the prone zone.
In the prone zone.
Well, I don't think I take a critical hit until I hit negative. It's like taking negative.
I'm pretty sure that's true. Yeah.
So I'm floating. I'm floating right there.
You're floating right now. So Charlie, I've used both my nat 20s, and Libris has used one of his. Alrighty. Pruitt is going to attack you, Johanna.
Okay.
And gets 6 degrees of failure.
Alright, let me see if I can make his day worse. I mean, because I'm always down for making Pruitt's day worse. That would be 1 degree of success for me.
Yeah,
That's
he
7 degrees
failed
of failure.
miserably. It's not a good time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oswald, it's your turn. You're on 0 wounds, but you're still up.
I am gonna turn to Jim.
Alrighty.
And I'll roll for hit location too. 93.
Jim fails by 4 degrees of success.
Okay.
Losing his advantages.
So that would be a 9 from. Wait. How many degrees of failure does he have?
He had 4 degrees of failure.
4. I have 5 degrees of success.
9 on
10. 14. 15.
15. Okay. Minus that. Okay. Jim is looking real wounded. Real wounded, but not dead. Pruitt's looking pretty bad as well, as this kind of arrogance that Jim was, throwing around at how many puppies he's killed, and how great his beard is. It all comes crashing down for him in one moment as Oswald feels the wrath of Sigma and deals a pretty punishing blow to this creature. Got anything else, Oswald?
Oswald is just going to scream the word pain as loud as he can. He's just so excited.
Nice. Gundren,
I'm going to spend a resolve and remove the prone condition, which means I regain 1 wound as I surge to my feet. And then I'm going to spend my natural 20 to hit Jim Davis in the head.
I sidestep out of the way.
Alright, Jim gets 3 degrees of failure.
Okay, so that is in the where? 95? It's in the leg, I think.
Leg, I think.
Yeah, that's the right. No, yeah, the right leg. So that is 5 degrees of success, and how many degrees of failure did you say?
3 degrees of fail.
So that's 8 altogether, and then plus 8. So that is 16 wounds.
Nice. 16 minus math. Alright, he's in the crit hit territory. That was to the right leg, so roll me.
Go for it. 84.
Oh, nice and high. Nice and high in that leg. You shattered Jim Davis's kneecap, plastering it into several pieces. He gains bleeding 1, prone 1, and stunned condition, and a broken bone major injury as he falls to the ground, crutching his ruined leg. Just, oh, no! Oh! As it's just shattered away, he kind of looks up at Gundren, who's done this, and he says, "These lands are mine." And
I have a second strike.
Yeah, give it a second strike.
Which is, it was a 1 because I crit, which turns it to a 10.
Nice.
So that's still 5 degrees of success.
Very nice. Okay, I actually have to look up what that one did. That was cool. Roll me that critical hit then.
Critical hit?
Critical.
There's a 43.
And what location was that?
That was in the head.
The head.
In the head?
Yeah.
The Slayer rises, summoned by pain.
Pain.
You slice off his ear with the second attack, like shatters the knee first of all, slams it back up across the face, missing his eye and brain, but chopping off one ear as a deep dark blood flows out of it. His voice rattles out of his chest. No. As you will watch as Alexander Vossa and his soldiers sort of charge in. I'm
just gonna join Oswald in yelling pain.
Yeah. Vossa kind of rushes in and stares in horror at Jim. He says, "Brother, no." And that was Gunnar's turn. Johanna.
So is Undead Doggy still up?
Doggy Pruitt still up. That sounded wrong.
I'd like to turn my.
That came out all wrong.
I'd like to turn my sharpened paintbrush on Pruitt, please.
This is a popular dogging spot in Vossa. Oh man.
I went to 100. I don't think. Is
the
anyone
true
attacking?
horror. The true horror.
Attacking the dog right now? No.
Pruitt succeeds by 10. By one success.
I failed by 3, I think.
Alright,
so I
pretty good.
fail.
Good for you. Okay, no worries. Jade, anything you want to be doing?
I don't know if there's much I can be doing. I'm arrested.
This is true. There are 2 guards who are watching you right now. They don't have. They've got you sort of like in manacles. You could try to escape if you wanted. They seem pretty keen to join the fight. And one of them kind of mentions to the other, "Oh, we should be down there fighting with General." And the others, you know, similarly feels frustrated at having to watch you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could be like, yeah, it's kind of sad that they only trust you enough to look after a small girl. They don't think that you have the strength to participate.
Roll me a persuade, and you can have a plus 20 on this one because I do really want to go. Hey, what's up, Fogler? How's it going, buddy?
So I just roll a D100, and
Right.
I
think it's fellowship based, so FEL, fell.
So that's
you have a charm
43
skill.
something.
Or a
Well,
charm
there's
skill,
charm
yeah.
skill, which is 53.
Is it
And you said
13?
plus, yeah. That's 6 degrees of success with the plus 20.
Alrighty. Yes. The 2 of them look towards each other, look towards you and say, "Stay here, right?" And they run to join the battle. Being Jade on our own. They don't seem too worried about the idea of you running away, to be honest. We've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, I get that. A simple gal. Simple needs.
What do you want to do?
What am I just in like handcuffs, or am I like not able to
You're in
like
manacles. You haven't been chained down, but they basically cuffed you, right? Behind your back.
Sweet. Okay, I mean, yeah, I guess I just run.
Okay.
Just like nonchalantly.
Just chill.
I just like run around, I guess. I'm
Just run around in circles for a
I
little
just
bit.
run around in circles. Wait for somebody to stop
Davis
me.
looks towards Gundren and says, "You will find your death today, Slayer." And it's going to roll an attack roll against you, which is a 3 degrees of success.
Okay. And I am at that is actually just as just a fail with no degrees of success.
Yeah, just 0. Okay, so 3 plus his weapon, which is 9, so 12. I don't think I have anything else. I don't think he has any advantages because he's just been hit a lot, so 12 damage to you.
You know what? I am going to spend my 1 fate point and say, "How did that miss?" And it just misses me.
Nice.
That's gone forever.
It kind of like swipes up, and I'm going to say that it shaves off a fair amount of your, your like buzz cut, that you've got rocket on there, and it just like shaves the hair away, giving you a nice little trim.
It's going in the book for that.
Yeah, exactly. Second attack, he kind of growls and is like, "I will have," and that is I rolled a 53 there, so 0 successes, but you can roll to see if
all right.
You succeed or fail. That looks like a success.
I succeed, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, you swing away the blade as he's on one knee with a shattered limb, and yeah, he is not feeling good at all. However, Pruitt gets his turn. He's going to attack Johanna. He gets 0 degrees of success. I think 1 degree of failure, actually. Yeah.
Great.
I'd like to oppose. Looks like you win.
Yeah, straight success.
Yep.
No
We're gonna fire. Dire Wolf just flails at you but can't find the spot. Oswald, it's your turn.
I believe I have 1 crit left.
Yep.
I am gonna crit Jim Davis.
Let's do it.
For a 54, that location is in the body.
Nice. He got 2 degrees of success, which will mitigate 2 wounds. It seems like.
Okay, so
It's really at this
2 to 1. I have.
At this point, it's just a critical hit roll, really.
Yeah. So I'll roll a critical hit.
Alrighty.
Finish him.
If only it was the old chart.
Right?
Right. On the
Body.
yes, body. Yeah. The critical hit effect isn't that bad, but the wounds, the critical hit wounds, equals the amount of toughness bonus that he has. So, despite it being, the description is "tis but a scratch." How do you kill Jim Davis?
I raise my flail up in the air and I say, "Suffering is a path to righteousness." And I just bring it down and crush his chest like I'm crushing a cardboard box.
Yes!
Nice. No.
And I have
No. And you sense a deep sense of peace flow across this room, aside from the dog, who, if anything, feels emboldened. For there must always be a Jim Davis. Gundren, it's your turn. It's just the dog left standing. What does Gundren want to do here? Your turn, buddy.
Sorry, I was spacing out there.
Totally good.
So the dog's still up, but is the general in the room? General Beckett?
General Beckett has suddenly enters into the room. He's like, "Oh, what's going on here?"
I just turn to him. Betrayer! I'm going to charge General Beckett.
Yes!
I'm going to swing into his face.
Face is the best place to swing.
And that is a 32, which is that's 5 degrees of success.
He gets 2 degrees of success, so you still win.
So that's 3 plus 8. That's 11 wounds. Obviously,
Nice.
toughness. And then that's a 23 on the dual wield.
Nice. That's another hit.
Yeah, and that's the same number of degrees of success. So,
Alrighty.
which one?
Very cool. So, yeah.
What's the? How many what did you get on the contest?
Yeah, let me roll that real quick for you. For the contest is 1 degree of success.
1 degree of success. So that is, how many did I say? 20.
Some amount of math.
That's 5 degrees. Yes, that's it. 5 degrees. So that's 4 plus 8, 12. There we go. I can do maths. 12 wounds.
Alrighty. 12 wounderinos. For narrative's sake, as we're on our, I'll level you guys. We're on hour 27. You kill General Beacon. However, I'm gonna spend those 2 nat ones of yours, Gundrak, here, and he's going to get one last chance to plant a dagger into your heart as he dies. And we'll roll a contested attack roll to see if you can pull this off.
All right.
Oh, still looking good for him. Oh, ooh, well. There's 2 degrees of failure for him.
That is. Are we assuming I just ignore the advantage for this?
Sure. Yeah, I will say that.
Yeah. All right. So that's 1 degree of failure for me.
Nice. So the blade is like inches away from your heart as you just like stop it and hold it in place just there as he dies, and then the dagger limply falls from his grip as life fades from his corpse.
I'll not have a traitor take my death from me.
Johanna, it's just the dog. Gonna murder a puppy when you're done.
Yeah, I would like to kill Pruitt, please.
Clip this shit. Can you see the shade being thrown right now? Holy shit.
This is for the time he didn't show up to battle last season.
Someone call fucking Keemstar. The drama alert right now.
That's 2 degrees of success for me.
Match.
That's so many degrees of failure from Pruitt. He's honestly disappointed me for the last time.
And I say, I shall turn your fur into bristles for the finest of brushes. Because I'm so empowered by all of the cheers from Gundrak and Oswald.
Alright, savagery. Savagery of it. However, as Chat mentioning, this is your 3 last nat ones here. As Pruitt's gonna get, let's say 3 chances here as he's dying like death throes of this dog. That's so many degrees. That's a failure. God damn it, Pruitt, that's a failure. Holy shit, this is like Pruitt's actual rolls. Oh my god. Alright. It's just, the dog just kind of tries to get at you, and then, it doesn't even realize that it's dead. And then finally it flails at you a couple of times and dies. So, feels bad, man. Sorry, Pruitt.
And then I stroke Pruitt gently. I say, "You're free from chaos now, little beast." And then I slowly start shaving off all its fur.
Yeah. With justice brought back to the land of Vossa and Jim Davis and Pruitt defeated, our beleaguered and broken companions reunite with Alexander Vossa with the dead, traitorous General Beacon dead. However, it's Jade who is the only one to escape from these lands. And with her last nat one, probably runs into some kind of...
I feel like I'm going to run into another one of those creatures.
Yeah,
and
she runs south and goes into the lands of the dead.
Yeah,
probably I'm just
runs...
like, I just run around with handcuffs on, waiting to see what happens.
Straight into the vampire count's territories and end up as some kind of undead abomination. Somewhere down there. But at least you'll got fine robes. Yeah.
Banshee Queen.
Exactly.
Banshee Queen.
You become motherfucking Sylvanas as
Sylvanas.
well. But my friends, looking at the time, it's fucking hour 27. Holy shit! And that was the first game of Warhammer 4th edition. Little janky.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed it though. Like
yeah.
It was learned a lot from that first combat. Actually, there was like 10 different things. Yeah. 10 things that I've done definitely. The second flowed a lot quicker. And was a lot easier to track. It takes a little bit of getting used to, like the advantage swings, like when someone misses, they get an advantage, and the enemy also has to track. So there's a fair bit of tracking that goes on and a fair amount of rolling, but the math makes sense, and I reckon there's probably a simplified version of it somewhere that.
Yeah, in Fantasy Grounds, I think it has a built-in like +2 to your roll type thing, or maybe advantage or disadvantage. Maybe a button can be made to like +1, -1 on advantage.
Yeah. I'm sure someone's already
write a macro.
Yeah, I actually think that the creator of the Wooferup 2nd Ed Fantasy Grounds community pack is working on a 4th edition version. I don't know when that'll be out, but I think Jim mentioned that to me. So I think that that should help us out for this season. But that was fun, and yeah, it's always a little difficult getting used to new rules, but I really enjoyed that. So our next game is, holy shit, Call of Cthulhu. I'm running Call of Cthulhu one shot in a couple of seconds with a lot of folks here. So stick around for that. And of course, we're doing our giveaways in just a few seconds for Fantasy Grounds licenses, dice, Idle Champs, PHBs, and yeah, other stuff as well. But let's go around a cast and crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? Where can we find you guys online? Let's start with Sid. Great job tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry that like I had to ask so many questions. I've never played any Warhammer ever. I know nothing about the rules, the lore, anything. So I really appreciate you guys like just bearing with me and being so nice and just explaining things without making me feel stupid. I really, really appreciate that. And it was a lot of fun. I'd love to play again after like having a little bit more time to read up and maybe in something longer to get like a little bit more invested and learn about like the whole world and everything, because now I have a little bit of taste and now I'm a little bit intrigued. But yeah, thank you so much just for dealing with this, you know what I mean? Thank you. You can find me on Twitter at Sid_Shields, and I pretty much talk about everything else that I do over there.
Awesome. And Charlie.
That was such a cool taster of what we've got to look forward to this week on Wednesday. And we're rolling out season 2. I'm so excited. I hope the Chaos Chorus, new and old, will be there. Yeah, I'm just really excited for Wednesday. I'm like, bring it on. But right now, I'm about to go get ready for Call of Cthulhu, and it's my first time playing that, so I feel like I'm going to be in Sid's shoes and asking a lot of questions. But
girl, I'm going to be there too, and it's the first time I've played. So yeah! Here we go.
It's a D100 system, so you guys are on.
Yeah, it's
also we've been primed. We've been primed and ready.
We're ready to go.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Will. Awesome. That was a lot of fun. And well done to the Slayer and the Flagellant for doing a real great job and following through.
I thought I had the Slayer there for a second. I thought I had him. I was close.
Almost.
But,
used his one fate point.
Yeah. Really dope. Awesome stuff. Yes, Stu. Same questions, my friend.
Yeah. You can see me on Twitter. That's where you see everything. It's roleplay stuff and games art stuff. I'm a 3D artist. And aside from that, my big thing is you can catch me on Curion, the campaign that I run on Susanna Grace's channel, who's actually going to be on this season running a game, right? Yeah.
That's right. So, yeah, she's running the viewer game. Yeah.
Yeah, she is. So she's great. You can catch me on her channel every Monday, except for this week when it's on Wednesday, but whatever. Aside from that, yeah, hopefully have some more stuff coming up soon. So give me a follow and check me out. It was so much fun to play. So thank you for letting me come on. And I love dwarves in Warhammer a lot, real lot.
Absolutely, yeah. That's some of the coolest little bits of lore, and I think the Slayers are one of my favorite parts of that as well. Awesome stuff. Great to have you on the channel, my friend. And Ex Libris.
Man, that was fun. Warhammer 4E, waiting for a long time, and I think Cubicle 7 delivered, so great to get a taste of that. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at X_Libris85. And I also write articles for the Encounter Roleplay website, including reviews of RPG stuff. And I reviewed this very game, as well as provided a fill-in PDF character sheet, which everybody's been using, and I'm super proud that they have. And you could find me every Sunday on Thoglore's channel at 10 p.m. Eastern, where we play in Divinity of Pain, D&D 5e.
Awesome. Great stuff. Well, guys, this was a blast, and I am super looking forward to getting into the full season of Warhammer next this Wednesday? This coming Wednesday, right? Is the session 0 for the Great Conspiracy, which is Jim Davis's love letter to Middenheim. Asher Middenheim was one of my favorite fucking books from Second Ed, so I'm really, really stoked about it. But we're going to head into our next game. We're going to do the giveaways. Next game is Call of Cthulhu Alone Against the Dark. It's creepy, it's fun, and I'm looking forward to it. Until then, my friends, try and throw too many net ones. We want to be here laughing when you do. Good night. Bye. Jim Tracker Davis, son.